Welcome to The Grind with Dr. McKenzie. I'm Dr. McKenzie, and today we're going to talk about how to not fumble the bag. Today we're going to talk about something that's vital for everyone who is rising and grinding, how to not fumble the bag. We've seen it so many times. Those who have risen to the top and they fumble the bag and stumble. Today we're going to look at the life of CJ So Smooth. This man achieved it all. He achieved YouTube success. He had it going on. He had millions of subscribers, millions of dollars, and now he has fumbled the bag. And what we're going to do in our fashion is look at his mistakes and look to see what can we learn. Because we've all been there at some point in our lives where we've achieved greatness, but we fumbled it, we made mistakes. And so what we're going to share with you today is how you can avoid making the mistakes that CJ So Smooth made. First mistake is not saving at the peak of your career. There's an old saying, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. CJ So Smooth made millions of dollars, but he didn't save any of it. You see, you can make millions, but if you're spending millions at the same time, then it means nothing. Money flows like water, and if you don't know how to manage it, you will end up ruining everything. During his rise, CJ wasn't thinking about the future. Instead, he bought chains and cars instead of setting aside some money in real estate, investments, assets, stocks. Instead, he bought clothes, jewelry, spent money on his entourage. Warren Buffett once said, "Don't save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." That's rule number one. Success isn't permanent unless you treat it that way. If you don't put away money when you're winning, you'll find yourself scrambling once the applause stops. And so what's the takeaway that we can learn here? Save aggressively when you're on top. Don't wait until your downfall to begin thinking about your future. Secure your wealth while you have the leverage. While the money is coming in, while you've got the fame, keep and take care of your money. Point number two, the dangers of having a toxic inner circle. Look at what's happening in the life of CJ So Smooth right now. All the people he trusted, all the people he supported. When you are on top, everyone's going to want a piece of you. But as soon as you fall, you'll find out who your real friends are. And if you're not careful, the people who you're surrounding yourself with, they're going to drain you financially and emotionally. And then you'll have nothing left when the money is gone, and so are they. This happens to most successful men and women. Look at Julius Caesar, who once said, "Keep your friends close and your enemies closer." And Caesar ended up learning what happened with his friend Brutus, who betrayed him and stabbed him in the back. CJ So Smooth right now is seeing all of his friends, all the people that he put on, stabbing him in the back. The lesson is clear. Audit your circle. Surround yourself with people who are building with you and not just benefiting from you. Loyalty is rare. And so you need to truly test it. Truly find friends of good value. Find friends who are going to be there with you in the trenches, not just people who show up when it's time to party. You are as strong as the people you associate yourself with. Point number three, failing to diversify your income streams. CJ So Smooth made it from YouTube. That was his one source of income. You can't afford to depend on one stream of income, especially in this unpredictable world. You've got to have multiple streams of income. He should have had some real estate. He should have invested in the stock market. You've got to spread it around because when one thing falls, you've got to be able to grab from these other areas. Look at great men in history. Carnegie, Rockefeller, and even Jay-Z. Jay-Z once said that I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. You've got to think of yourself that same way. You've got to see yourself as a business. See yourself as different portfolios, real estate, stocks, businesses. You've got to understand that you've got to diversify so that you can reduce your risk. You've got to plant seeds in this garden of wealth. You've got to be able to gather from all the different areas. And CJ didn't do that. And when the YouTube algorithm shifted and changed, his fortune crumbled. Friends, learn from his mistake. Point number 4, failing to adapt. The world is constantly changing, and success requires that you are constantly adapting, or else you're going to get left behind. CJ So Smooth had a moment, climbs, got 9 million subscribers, but what happens when things shift? What happens when the landscape changes? Think about a great shifter, Steve Jobs. When Apple was struggling, he reinvented it. He didn't just rest on his laurels, he kept on changing. Mike Tyson once said that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And CJ So Smooth didn't have a plan for when that punch came. And so what can we learn from his life? Never get comfortable. Always be looking for new ways to grow, new ways to evolve. Always stay ahead of the curve. Success is not a final destination. It's an ongoing journey. And the second you stop moving, you start dying. And so stay strong, stay hungry, and always be ready to pivot and change. Point number 5, overcoming setbacks with perseverance. We are all going to stumble. We are all going to fall. Right now, we're talking about CJ So Smooth, who has fallen, but his story is not yet over. The question is, will he get back up? Because life will knock you down, but you got to get back up. One of the greatest men in history, Winston Churchill, said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is where CJ finds himself. Will he redefine his legacy? He can choose to learn from his mistakes. He can rebuild and come back stronger, or he can let this fall define him. Every man and woman will face adversity at some point in their life. You're going to make mistakes. People are going to betray you. You're going to be tested. You're going to be knocked down. But the true strength is, what will you do then? Perseverance is when you rise up from the ashes. That's what separates the great from the mediocre. It's about learning from your failures, adjusting, and pushing forward with relentless determination. Friends, we look at the life today of CJ So Smooth. His story is a cautionary tale for us. He had it all, but he fumbled it because he didn't plan for the future. He trusted the wrong people. He failed to adapt, but his downfall is our lesson. You can choose to learn from his mistakes. You can protect your wealth, build strong foundations, and always be prepared for the storms in life. And so remember these 5 key points that we've shared with you today. Save your money when you're winning. Keep your circle tight and loyal. Diversify your income streams. Adapt, change, or you will perish. And learn how to persevere through adversity. These are the things that we can look at his life today and make our lives better. Because it's time for us to learn from the mistakes of others so that we don't have to keep repeating these mistakes. And so stay sharp, stay focused, and keep pushing forward. Your success depends on not just how high you can climb, but how well you maintain it once you get to the top. We know that you are destined for greatness, and so that's why we come along to share with you some tips looking at the life of the people around us so that when you get to the top, you will maintain it and you will stay there. And we're hoping that when you make it, that you do what we're doing, that you give back, that you teach, that you mentor, that you share the lessons. That's what this channel is for. I've risen, I've rise, I've grind, I've achieved, and now I'm simply trying to give back. That's what this community is. It's us, men and women, who have achieved, who are working towards a better tomorrow, and we're going to take the time to help each other out. And so if you found benefit from what we're doing, hit the like button. And if you want to join such a community, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know, what have you learned from the life of this great man who has fumbled the bag? Let me know about a time when you struggled and how you got back in the game. Like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, rise and grind.